This week on the show, Houston, that's me, gets into Dragon Con. Plus, we talk about Harry Potter's, which is, it's pretty good, I guess, Welcome to Blockbusted. Hitchcock!
Say!
Hitchcock! Guess what's been happening recently?
Life. School.
Yeah, frick. I was gonna start on an optimistic note, but you ruined it. You ruined the freaking note.
That's not how we roll here.
You know what's been happening to me recently, Hitchcock? Dragon Con. That happened.
Yay!
And it was great, I must say.
It's pretty good.
Should I take some time and tell you about it?
Nah, no one cares. Let's move on.
Oh, no. See, there's really no news this week other than the fact that Deathstroke has got an actor in the Flash Thompson guy from Spider-Man, so okay. So I figure I'll give you a little sneak peek into what happened at Dragon Con. So Dragon Con was last week, and I went with my aunt, who always gives me an experience instead of a gift for my birthday. And essentially, I saw 3-4 panels.
Cool.
One being the cast, or supporting cast, I guess, of The Flash, which was pretty great. Teddy Sears was there, who plays Jay Garrick / Zoom. Violet Bean was there, who plays Jesse Quick. And best of all was Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco Ramon.
There you go.
So that was pretty good.
Good
also, the Legends of Tomorrow cast had a panel that I went to, and Hawk Girl. And my aunt leans over to me in the middle of the thing and says, "Are they saying Hot Girl? Is her name actually Hot Girl?" And I was like, "No, it's Hawk Girl." Hawk Girl was there. Hawkman was there. Vandal Savage was there, a.k.a. Casper Crump is his real name. And
Crunch,
then, and one other person. I don't remember.
It was the White Canary.
Oh yeah, White Canary. Yeah, the hot one. So yeah, that was pretty good.
Good stuff.
Best one of all though was the William Shatner panel.
Yeah.
Who plays Captain Kirk in Star Trek? Obviously, it was a pretty great timing too because the Star Trek 50th anniversary was this week.
Let's go.
So he talked about that kind of stuff. He was like so spry. He's 85.
Yeah.
And also so ADD, like someone would say something, like people got up on their, like, they got in line to ask him questions or whatever through a microphone. And they couldn't even get through like 3 words before he would interrupt them to like tell a story or something. They'd be like, "So
That's
what did you
great.
think of the new Star Trek?" And he's like, "The new Star Trek. So let me talk about that." And
That's so good.
he was just like my grandpa in a way. Like he talked about he loved to read and he loved learning about the world and science and
so cool.
culture and stuff. There was one point at which, so Dragon Con has thousands of people dressed up, right? And it's not uncommon to see people holding like fake machine guns and whatever. If someone wanted to do a mass shooting, Dragon Con would be the place to do it.
Oh, no.
And this dude gets up to ask him a question. He's dressed like a mob boss, like a gangster from like the 40s. He's holding an AK-47 machine gun in the air. And he's just holding it in the air and he's asking a question. Shatner's like, "So what's with the machine gun? Why is it in the air?" And he's like, "On behalf of the mob, we would like to..." And I'm like, "Gah!" And I press the record button on my camera so that if we all die, there's photographic evidence. And luckily nothing happens, but he's like, "On behalf of the mob of Atlanta, we would like to ask you the following question. What did you think of the new Star Trek film?" It was the weirdest thing.
Dude,
Plenty of
awesome.
weird people at Dragon Con.
That's
Also,
freaking scary though.
it is.
Like, oh.
And last panel I saw was Jason Isaacs, who is Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
He told some cool stories about different things that were improv on the set and whatnot. And he also said that it was his idea to give Lucius long hair. It was his idea to give him a cane. And it was his idea to even put him in robes in the first place. The original design was short hair and just a suit and tie. And it was like, what?
Weird.
So that was pretty good.
That's cool.
So there was like 77,000 people at Dragon Con.
That's insane.
It's insane because wherever you are, you feel like you're like this has to be like everyone's here right now. Right?
Yeah.
Like you go to the vendors area and it's 4 floors of like nonstop like posters being sold and shirts and collectibles and all kinds of stuff. And it's packed. Like people are, pressed against each other. I'm pushing through a crowd. And you're like, everyone has to be here. But no, you could go anywhere else in the city and it's just as packed as that.
That's crazy.
It's like, oh my gosh.
That's insane.
So yeah, it was a pretty great weekend. I didn't dress up, but I'm going to do that next year if I go back. Best thing of all was they had the Atlanta Philharmonic there, and they played movie themes for 2 hours one night. So that was sweet.
So cool.
So yeah, that's
so
Dragon
cool.
Con. It was some good stuff. Yeah. Chance, our buddy Chance who we've had on was supposed to go, but he decided to do a Disney cruise instead.
Oh.
So elitist.
Just wow, Chance. Just wow.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about today, Hitchcock?
The one and only Harry Potter.
The one and only Harry Potter.
The one and only Harry Potter. With the movies, the books, everything, all about it.
Okay, well, yeah. So,
I mean, is there another Harry Potter? Can you tell me another Harry Potter?
No.
Yeah?
It was just an odd trail off. You went the one and only Harry Potter.
Fine.
I don't know.
That way.
So today we're talking Harry Potter. I was recently rewatching some stuff, and did you end up watching Half-Blood Prince last night?
I did.
It's real good.
Watched that last night. It's so good.
And so we just figured why not, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Fantastic Beasts is out of November, so maybe we'll talk about that, question mark.
Maybe.
We didn't really talk about when Cursed Child, the new Harry Potter book, came out. We didn't really talk about that.
True.
So I figure maybe we'll talk about that a little bit. So before we move on to anything, let me just say, spoilers for every Harry Potter movie. And if you haven't seen Harry Potter, what are you doing? Huh?
Why are you doing here? What are you doing here?
Huh? You clicked this episode titled The Harry Potter Series Blockbusted. And, but yeah, so as I said, there's no news this week either. I literally scoured the internet. I scoured the entire internet. Have you ever seen
What the?
I'm William Shatner here right now. Have you ever seen commercials and they're like the 90s kind of featurettes where they're explaining what the internet is?
Yeah.
I just watched 2 days ago. I watched this documentary, not documentary, but it was like a VHS video you would buy called The Kid's Guide to the Internet. And it was from the 90s. And they're like, the mom's like, do you need a phone line to operate an internet? And it was amazing. Because these people, if you've never heard of the internet and you don't, and it's just been invented, it's really hard to explain what it is, right? Like, it's like a place, kind of. Like, it's a place you are in, but it's not. It's just a thing on a screen, you know? And there's emails and stuff, and it was so interesting to see them trying to explain it. Anyway, tangent. I'm William Shatner again. Maybe when I grow up, I'll be William Shatner. I will just... I'll just go off on tangents at every second. But I won't be famous. I won't have had that amazing life, so there's that.
Yeah.
He talks about when he met Stephen Hawking one time. That was another thing he said. Yeah. That was pretty good.
Cool,
so Harry Potter.
Cool.
What do you think? Should we talk about these like the one movie at a time? Just go by each movie?
I don't know.
Fine, you're helpful.
Yeah, maybe we go in order and then we talk about the book with the movie.
Yeah.
I'll go.
Okay, so Harry
Are
Potter
we talking
and the
about the
Sorcerer's
books
Stone.
too? I was under the impression we were talking about the books as well.
Oh, are we?
Oh, no.
I don't know. I mean,
we literally decided to do this subject yesterday.
Yeah, we did. Hashtag wing it though, right?
Hashtag wing it.
It really is. Okay. I mean, if we talk about the movies, we're kind of talking about the books as well. I mean, what are you going to say is different if we talk about the books?
Dude, they're so different. It's, like, insane. Like, I have so many issues with all of them.
What?
Same.
So Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
Is
or
a movie.
the Philosopher's Stone.
Oh, as it's called in the Brits.
Yeah. Philosopher
I was
on
almost going to go
Letterboxd.
off
Did
on a
you know
tangent
that?
there, and then I just decided not to. What?
It's Philosopher's Stone on Letterboxd.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Letterboxd must be international or something.
Yeah.
Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets are both directed by Christopher Columbus, who is the director of Home Alone.
The founder of American.
Well, his production company is called 1492 Pictures, so that's pretty good. But yeah, he directed the first Home Alone. He directed some other kids' movies and whatever, and he was a great choice to do the first Harry Potter movies.
Definitely.
As I just said. What do you think of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone?
Oh, where to start? Let's see. Let's see.
Same.
Yeah, they're great. I mean, it's so cool to see because it starts out, the first two is when he's 10, 11, 12, around there. And he's real young, and he's that real young, he's not mature yet and all that. And, I mean, the movies do such a well job of capturing that, and you really, you can definitely feel that it's a younger, lighter movie, but then as it goes on in the series, the movies just grow with Harry Potter, which is great.
Yeah.
Well,
as he becomes an adult, the books become adult books.
Yeah.
The books in the beginning are really kids' books,
Sure.
But by the end, they're definitely young adult books. They get pretty dark. And I love that Harry grows. The books grow with Harry, and if you start reading it as a kid, you can grow with Harry as well. I read the books as I grew up and stuff.
Yeah.
Harry Potter, in case people didn't know, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, is my favorite thing ever. Okay, yeah. Which I know is a very loose term. You've probably heard me say my favorite thing ever about everything ever. But Harry Potter, before I loved Star Wars, before I loved Lord of the Rings, before I loved anything, I loved Harry Potter.
Yeah.
And I still do. And I still think that it's the best film franchise of all time. I think it's better than, Lord of the Rings is probably better in terms of filmmaking, but I think Harry Potter's better than Lord of the Rings. I think it's definitely better than Star Wars, as much as I love Star Wars. I think Harry Potter's better than Marvel. It's my favorite thing ever, and it's great.
It is so good.
So that's the kind of passion that I will have in this podcast if I can stay awake.
I think that's one of the things that appeals to me and you so much is we're still in the age of Harry Potter.
Are we?
We're both 16, and when he in the Half-Blood Prince, he's 16 years old, so you can relate to him, and as you're reading
I do think that J.K. Rowling kind of overestimates what a 16-year-old would do, because I see Half-Blood Prince or whatever, where he's 16, and I go, yeah, I don't think I'd be that brave at this age.
Yeah, I was thinking that too. If I was Harry Potter, would I really do that?
Yeah.
Would I? I don't know. But yeah. It's cool. It's great.
But so, Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
We're introduced to all the characters for the first time. I think, at the very least, the movies, as much as there are some inaccuracies and things they left out, which are few in number. As far as books turned into movies, these are the most accurate.
Definitely.
I honestly don't remember a lot of the stuff that's different at this point.
Yeah.
But I think even if they didn't capture some of the details, the thing that the movies did well was it just captured the feel of the books.
Yeah.
And the first one definitely captures that kind of magic sense. And that's the thing about the first movie is that it's very, I guess you could say, it's very Roald Dahl inspired, and then it's kind of like Matilda and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory in that it's just wacky. The stuff with the Dursleys, they just move out to a house in the middle of the ocean, right? Which is
who
so
would do that,
unrealistic, but and that would never happen in Deathly Hallows. But the first, book is a lot more whimsical, and much more of a children's book. But it's still fantastic.
It is.
And we meet all the characters for the first time,
I know.
right? Yeah.
It's so weird after you've read the whole series or watched it to go back and watch the first one and see them all young. It's so weird. But I mean, they're done so well. All the all the actor choices are just great, I think, and
it's crazy because
is so good.
They all evolved into being good actors.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you could have... There are so many places that these movies could have gone wrong. Like, they could have grown up and been really unattractive, but especially in Emma Watson's case, that's not the case. They could have grown up and not been good actors, you know, because they're not that great as kids. Could have been that they just stayed that way, but no, they became good actors. You know, could have been that one of them wanted to drop it. Emma Watson, after Order of the Phoenix, said that she was seriously contemplating whether she wanted to do the final 3 movies. Imagine if she had dropped out. You know,
that would have been terrible. Yeah.
You had to recast her and whatever. But in the end, it became this triumph. Like, it's 10 years, and everyone stuck with it. The same cast stayed with the whole thing, except for one actor, Richard Harris, who was the first Dumbledore, who, you know, who died. But other than that, same cast, entire series. It's pretty incredible. Good. It's an achievement.
It's just so well done, and you love to see that. And the fact that they were able to do that is great, you know. And then it works so much well because if you're switching, like, imagine Emma Watson if she dropped out after Order of the Phoenix, and they would have to cast a new a new Hermione, right? It would just get so confusing, and it's just.
I like that you can mix Emma Watson's name up with Hermione, and they're just the same person.
Yeah,
because...
they kind of are, you know.
What did you think of Richard Harris in this movie, the original Dumbledore? Which Dumbledore do you prefer?
Ooh. Probably the second one, the one from Prisoner of Azkaban on. Just because I feel like that one, he's a bit younger, but he still has that, like he's still like in the first 2, he was like all old, very slow moving, you know. Just
I could never imagine Richard Harris fighting in Fury or whatever,
or fighting Dumbledore, you know? Or fighting Voldemort in the Order of the Phoenix, you know?
That would have been crazy.
I mean, it's just he's a bit too old, and then
and he suits the movies that he's in, because Dumbledore at that point in the series is very much like a mentor and a wise old wizard and whatever. But eventually he becomes like a huge action hero, some might say. So, you know, they I think potentially even if he hadn't died, they might have had to recast him because you know he I don't think he just would have suited that, you know.
Yeah.
But he's great in the screen time that he has.
He is.
Yeah.
Eating those earwax beans.
Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. What do you think?
Yeah. It's probably my least favorite out of all of them.
Same. Yeah.
It's still great. It's still a great movie. The book's
that's
great,
the thing is,
but
least favorite is very subjective here because like all of them are fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you think makes it so many people's least favorite?
You know, I've been trying to. I don't really know. It's just something about the feel of it, and
it's got so many great scenes. There's the car scene. With the flying car, they get on they drive to Hogwarts in it. There's the Dobby stuff. There's you know, some hilarious Gilderoy Lockhart stuff and whatever. And I do think it's a much better mystery than Sorcerer's Stone was. It's a really cool mystery with the whole I can hear snakes and whatever. And it does delve deeper into some of that stuff, as well as like it does what sequels should do in kind of opening up different doors into things that we saw briefly in the first movie and kind of seeing them more. So, like, now we saw Draco Malfoy in the first movie. Now we see Draco Malfoy's father or whatever, you know. Kind of exploring that world more. And Lucius Malfoy is so good. But at the same time, I do feel like Chamber of Secrets kind of is the same movie as Sorcerer's Stone, you know?
Yeah,
It's similar mystery, similar feel. Yeah.
They wander through to a dark place to confront Voldemort. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing way that they introduced the first Horcrux, though, right?
Yeah. I was gonna say. I mean, like, it's just crazy because at that time you don't know it's a Horcrux, right? But then you don't find out till the 6th book or the 6th movie that like that. Like, remember back in the day when you were 12 and you destroyed that journal? Yeah. That was part of Voldemort's soul.
It's so good.
it's such a great tie-in.
J.K. Rowling is a freaking genius. Like,
she is.
She introduced, she wrote down and figured out and planned out the entire series before she wrote the first book. So that in, like, book 5, she references a diadem that Harry sees in the Room of Requirements.
Exactly.
And then that comes into play.
That's the Horcrux.
Insane. Another thing about Horcruxes that I was reading the other day is that, so a Horcrux splits your soul into 2, right? So when Voldemort split his soul into 2 the first time, half of his soul is in that diary, I believe. I think that's the first one he made. Then, so what's left is he'll split the half in half, right? That he still has. And then he'll split that half in half, and then that half in half. So, essentially, each Horcrux is weaker than the other one. Because the first one is the strongest, and then whatever order he makes them. So that's why they're not all as hard to beat as some of them, you know?
Sure.
Just interesting little tidbit I read somewhere.
That's cool. Yeah, definitely. I mean, the tie-ins in this series are great, you know?
Yeah.
Like we were saying. Just, you see something in the early books, and it comes into play the later books. It's so
you know what I love about Chamber of Secrets, though, is Fawkes the Phoenix. This is the introduction of Fawkes. And this is the only movie where we see him a ton. We see him briefly in Order and briefly in 6 at the end of that. But he's the puppetry is so good on Fawkes. And most of all, I love his theme. The John Williams one, which is the I don't know if I can hum it. It's I don't know. But that's another thing about Chamber of Secrets and Sorcerer's Stone, and maybe Prisoner of Azkaban, ? Is that I think those are the only 3 that John Williams did. And then they just reused some of his themes for the other ones. But amazing.
They are so good.
Work
so
on
good.
the music in these movies.
When
we went to that symphony thing at DragonCon and they played Harry Potter, they didn't just play the main theme. They played, you know, the Hogwarts theme. They played the kind of Gryffindor, like, friendship theme. They played, like, the scary Chamber of Secrets theme. And the thing about John Williams is he creates a theme for everything. And every theme is memorable. So that in Indiana Jones, Indy in Last Crusade passes a tapestry of the Ark in the catacombs of France, and we hear the Ark theme play briefly, where he kind of intertwines all these things. And I love his music because of that. So it's really cool when you go back and listen to the Harry Potter music for the first few, because there's all of these reoccurring kind of motifs and stuff in the music.
So cool. Soundtracks are done so well. And of course the theme, which is now like when you think of Harry Potter, you think that
right,
you know that. It's just so cool and done so well. I love the soundtracks in all of them. So good.
Yeah. Let's see. So
Prisoner of Azkaban?
Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
This is kind of everyone's favorite one, I guess.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's great.
And it
so
is
good.
great.
Yeah.
If people haven't seen it, you should go check out Nerdwriter's video on this.
Yes.
Nerdwriter 1 on YouTube. He's got a video on why Prisoner of Azkaban is the best Harry Potter movie.
Yeah.
And he's right.
He is.
I don't know if this is my favorite Harry Potter movie, but it's definitely the best one. Something really great about the Harry Potter movies was the kind of the alternating directors. Chris Columbus did the first 2, then what's his name? Who did the third one? Prisoner of Azkaban. I'm Googling it. Alfonso Cuarón. That's it. Alfonso Cuarón also did Gravity, I believe. Yes, he did Gravity. And several other movies. He's a fantastic director. And then the fourth one's directed by someone else, and then the last 5, 6, 7, and 8 are directed by David Yates, who's also doing Fantastic Beasts. But it really is always a good idea to kind of, give the reins of a movie to someone else. Every now and then, like they did with, or like they're doing with Star Wars right now. Having a different director do each movie. I don't know why that works, but it just seems to work a lot better than having one director do all of them.
Maybe, I don't know.
George Lucas.
Maybe they can like see the mistakes that the other director made in the past one and fix them or something. And it just brings new ideas to the table, you know. I mean, instead of having one director doing the whole series with his idea and his way to go, you kind of just got this meandering way. You know, it's very, very neat and well done. I mean, even in that, the director choices could have gone wrong. You know, I mean, the first two could have been good, but then the third one could have been terrible. You know, just with that.
Well, that's what's incredible is there are 8 movies in this franchise, and every single one of them is good. Like, mind blown, right? Yeah. Every franchise has the bad one, like Return of the Jedi or whatever. Which Return of the Jedi isn't bad, but you know, it's not as good as the others. But that's not the case with Harry Potter, and maybe I'm a little bit biased, but I just think all of them are fantastic movies. And they kind of, I think they're overlooked a little bit for some reason. Like, when you go back and you compare Harry Potter to other, you know, films that came out at the time and other just blockbusters in general. Everything about it, from the set design to the prop design to the dialogue to the characters to the special effects to the music to the cinematography, everything about it is well done, and it's not just like a kids movie or something.
Definitely.
So good.
It has that kids feel, but it has that mature feel in the way it's done. You know.
Well, and Prisoner of Azkaban kind of gets rid of that kids feel as well.
Definitely.
You know, it's the one where things kind of get dark, and that's great.
It is.
What do you think of Prisoner of Azkaban? Is it your favorite one?
Oof, I don't think I could pick a favorite if I tried, because I love them. Like, you know, I thought like for a time, Prisoner of Azkaban, it was my favorite one. I just loved everything about it. But then I liked Order of the Phoenix a ton. And then I watched Half-Blood Prince last night, and I was like, oh, this one's the best. And it's just like, oh, they're all just so
My
good.
favorite will always be Deathly Hallows Part 2. But it's not because I think it's the best one. It's just the one that makes me happy so much.
Exactly.
You know, and it is a great movie, but it is a lot more of kind of fan-pleasing moments, which we'll get to. But I still love it. It's great. But yeah, Prisoner of Azkaban is definitely the most well-produced of the films. The cinematography is beautiful. There's a lot of recurring motifs. The time travel stuff. This is the only Harry Potter movie with time travel in it, which I always thought was so cool.
Genius.
I know a lot of people don't understand this whole loop theory, right? Where it's Harry is the one who saves himself, but I get it.
It makes sense. I mean, I guess the first time you read it, you hear about it, you watch it, it's very confusing. But me and you, we've watched this movie a ton, we've read the book countless times, and it just, you kind of get it, and it's like, okay, I mean, it makes sense to me how it all works, you know?
Yeah.
But, it's done, the time travel is done so well in this movie, you know? It just, it's so subtle, but it's like the whole movie, it's there, Hermione's using it, right? But it doesn't come to importance till the end.
Well, and we're introduced to Professor Trelawney in this, who's a great character. She's not as used in the movies as she is in the books.
No, she was a big part in the books.
But she's in this one the most. And Harry's kind of introduced to his whole divination class and everything, which is cool. And we're also introduced to Sirius Black, who's great. Gary Oldman, I always forget he's Gary Oldman in this, you know. I always forget that's Commissioner Gordon, or that's, you know, Planet of the Apes guy, you know. And
that's so weird.
He's just really good in these movies.
He is. Love Sirius Black. I mean, I think, you know, the whole movie, Harry has no family, right? No, like, true family, and then he finds Sirius Black, and it's like he's almost reunited with his family, and you love it, and it's just so good, and their relationship is great between each other, and I think Sirius Black is definitely one of my favorite aspects of The Prisoner of Azkaban.
The biggest reveal of this, though, is that Ron's pet rat was a middle-aged man the entire time. That's weird, right?
That's not,
It's pretty freaking weird. I'm not going to deny it.
It is. Oh, God.
There's a lot that's wrong with the Harry Potter universe.
Yeah.
It's very weird.
You know, I was watching like a video of some of the plot holes in the Harry Potter movies.
How dare they?
Yeah, no, but here's one that I found very interesting and actually kind of true.
Yeah.
You know, Fred and George have the Maudeur's map, right?
Yeah. Why wouldn't they see Peter Pettigrew?
So why wouldn't they see why wouldn't they see Ron, their brother, sleeping with the man? You know?
Yeah.
It's just
maybe Transfiguration hides it.
Maybe. No, because when Harry's walking through the corridor, he's looking at the map and he sees Peter Pettigrew coming towards him, and you know. Huh. And just he's in the rat form. He just scatters past unseen, you know. But I don't know. That's another thing is you can find problems with these movies, you know, plot holes and that, but they're just little things, you know, that really don't matter to the story a whole lot. Mm-hmm. You know, you can overlook them, you know.
Yeah.
Which is great and done so well. Yeah.
So that's Prisoner of Azkaban.
Yeah.
We're also going to introduce the Honeydukes, which is cool.
Yeah.
But, so, the next one is called Harry Potter and the Wizard Hunger Games, and it's good.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know. Maybe Goblet of Fire is my least favorite. I don't know.
Yeah, it's so hard to say.
I feel like Goblet of Fire... I need to Google who directed it.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Because I just feel like out of all of them, Goblet of Fire is the one that feels the most different. Like the tone of it is just off a little bit.
It's the most out of place. You know, I think I totally agree with you. That was going to go into something I said. It was I think one of the issues we have with it is, you know, Harry and Ron, particularly Harry and Ron, they go from, you know, they're just best bros. They have short hair, and then all of a sudden, this one they got long hair. They're wearing more baggy clothes.
Yeah,
you know,
and part of it's just the concept of the movie that's a little bit,
I
don't know, distracting. I guess where you go, a wizard tournament. Like it's a really cool concept, but it's not. I don't know. I don't know if it fits as much.
Yeah.
I love this one a lot, but it's I don't know. Goblet of Fire might be my least favorite. That said, we are introduced to. Let's see, we're introduced to Fleur Delacour and Victor Crumb, who become kind of major characters. Cedric Diggory, obviously, is huge. And this is the one where Voldemort comes back, so that's pretty big.
Voldemort looks cool. I like how they did Voldemort in this one, you know.
Yeah.
In reincarnating him, so it's I can agree how. Well, I can see why you'd think that this one would be your least favorite. It does have that much different tone.
It's got a little bit of a creepier tone in some places too. I love the opening scene. Which is the old man in his house, and he sees the lights in the house that he keeps. Or whatever.
You love seeing the old man get murdered.
Yeah, I love that scene.
Oh, no.
And he goes there and whatever, and then Harry wakes up and stuff.
Yeah.
There's a lot of kind of creepy stuff to it, and you think maybe Snape's a Death Eater or whatever. You know, one thing. Dumbledore asks, Harry, did you put your name in the Goblet of Fire? Harry's like, no. Did someone put it in for you? And I go, wait a minute. Anyone could do that.
Yeah.
And you could just pull a prank on someone and put their name in, and then they'd be in the games and almost die. Right?
Good point.
There's nothing.
They need to change the rules of the Triwizard Tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah. They need to make like a age detector or something. Like Harry Potter. Nope, he's too young. Like, this cup's supposed to be smart, isn't it? Apparently not.
This one, side note, is 2 hours and 37 minutes, which is pretty long. Almost 3 hours. I don't know what the longest Harry Potter movie is. It might be that one. Who's to say? But
Probably.
Anything else about Goblet of Fire? It's pretty good.
Don't think so.
Yeah.
It's the first time you see the wands clash between Voldemort and Harry, which is
that's
cool.
true. Priori Incantatem. It's pretty good.
Oh, getting technical here.
Oh, so the longest Harry Potter movie is Chamber of Secrets. Wow.
Oh, wow.
That's surprising, actually.
How long is that?
Huh. 3 hours, pretty much.
Goodness.
I know, right? Jeez. Let's see. Next Harry Potter movie, Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
I read somewhere a few days ago, someone was like, this is the pointless installment or something.
Yeah.
And I guess
I could kind of see that, yeah.
It doesn't have a huge effect on the universe.
Sure.
We do get the prophecy, is one major thing. Sirius is killed for another thing.
Yeah.
We see Bellatrix Lestrange for the first time. That's a pretty big deal.
Introduced.
And then there's the Order of the Phoenix is introduced. It doesn't have huge effects on the universe, but I would say it's one of the more enjoyable of the movies.
Oh yeah,
either
definitely.
way.
I love it. I think it's I think it's great. You know, like when Umbridge is introduced in this one. You know, and she becomes to Hogwarts. She becomes a teacher, and
the character we all hated even more than Voldemort, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I remember clenching my fists in 4th grade reading that. Like,
dude, when I was reading that, I was like, Harry, just do something. Go tell Dumbledore something. Why are you sitting here?
Yeah.
Oh, but yeah, it's so. I mean, they formed the Defense Against the Dark Arts. They formed that Harry forms that little class.
Dumbledore's army, so good.
Which
that
is
stuff's great.
Dumbledore. Yeah, it's. I mean,
I love the kind of montage stuff with.
Yeah.
You know.
And the stuff with Sirius
Umbridge
Black's
going
house.
around. You know.
Yeah.
Wrecking havoc, and they're making new orders and whatever, and then Dumbledore's army's training. And yeah, we're introduced to Grimmauld Place and stuff, so that's good. The Room of Requirement, huge thing, right? Because that comes into play in a major way later.
Yeah. It's another tie-in, which is
this movie isn't pointless. Come on, internet.
It's got some great moments that just make it so fun and so enjoyable, you know? Like all those moments with Umbridge when Fred and George, they crash Umbridge's class or whatever.
Yeah, so good.
And fireworks everywhere, and that's so well. and then of course Dumbledore fights Voldemort, which is great.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
great.
I don't really see how you can say this is the most. I mean, I guess it is kind of out of place, kind of step back, but I don't feel like it is.
But they just said pointless, which
I
don't know. But like, there's some great stuff involving, you know, we find out Voldemort has a way into Harry's head, and he does the whole stuff with Snape. I love the bit at the end where Voldemort's possessing Harry, and he kind of says, "You'll never know friendship or love or any of that," and that's really powerful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And now here's one thing. Here's a complaint about the Harry Potter series in general, kind of. J.K. Rowling does lose track of, like, I don't know how to say this, but like, she seems to kind of sometimes do multiple versions of something and just make it confusing. Meaning, in Order of the Phoenix, we have the Order of the Phoenix, and then we have Dumbledore's army, right?
Yeah.
And it's two different things. Why? Sure. You know? So that's confusing. But then, like, in Deathly Hallows, there's the 8 Horcruxes, and then there's the Deathly Hallows, right? Yeah. And that's when things kind of get messy. You know, here's an object, and here's an object, and here's an object, and here's an object. And that kind of, you know, is a big, I don't know. But, I mean, they're great movies. She does tend to complicate things every now and then, you know.
Sure.
And I understand it perfectly. It's just, you know, sometimes a little bit too much. I don't know. Yeah.
I can totally see that.
That's what I have to say.
There you go.
Half-Blood Prince. You watched it last night.
Yeah. It's really good. A lot better than I remembered it, you know? And
side note, I told you this last night.
Side note, here we go.
Half-Blood Prince won the best cinematography at the Oscars the year that it came out, which is pretty fantastic.
No clue. I had no clue about that.
Yeah. But I had always thought that it was the most well-shot Harry Potter movie. It's got a lot of scenes that are almost like black and white because of the color palette, like so much. You compare. That's what's funny is just the filmmaking changes throughout these movies where, you know, you compare the cinematography even of Half-Blood Prince to Sorcerer's Stone, and Sorcerer's Stone and Half-Blood Prince are set in the same place. They're set in Hogwarts,
Yeah.
We see the same places, the common room, and we see the bathrooms and everything, and they're all the same places, but they're shot differently, and the color palettes are different to where it's so much darker and more mopey. And that's great, and some of it's totally black and white. That scene with Draco and Harry fighting in the bathroom is literally black and white, like it's so dark.
It's great.
Yeah. Some great cinematography there.
There is, yeah. I rewatched it last night after you told me that it won Best Cinematography, which I had no clue,
Yeah.
And rewatching it, I'm like, yeah, this is great. It's got great shooting, and it's done really well. And it's a lot better than I remembered it, I mean, I really, really enjoyed it. But, yeah, so... I think one of the issues I do have with it, though, is how the movie did it, and this isn't a big one. It's kind of, well, yeah. But in the books, books versus the movie, in the book you feel Dumbledore and Harry's relationship a lot more than in this one, Like, in the movie, you kind of felt like, okay, well, Dumbledore's with Harry at the beginning, but then there's, like, this huge gap in the middle where you don't see Dumbledore at all. And then he comes back at the end, and they have the final scene together, and so it does feel like a bit like you don't really, because in the books they emphasized on their relationship more.
You're just are you talking about the series in general or Half-Blood Prince?
No, just the Half-Blood Prince movie. Yeah. I feel like they're in the Half-Blood Prince book. There was a lot more relationship between Dumbledore and Harry, and that's just not as much in the movie.
The whole Half-Blood Prince reveal is slightly
anticlimactic,
skewed because he gets rid of the book about halfway through the movie, and it's not referenced until the very end, and then we find out I am the Half-Blood Prince, right? Yeah. And that's a much bigger reveal in the book, but it's still done fine. There's a lot of what I love about Half-Blood Prince is that it's the most kind of school-ish of all of them. Yeah. We see Quidditch matches and young love. I love all the kind of romance stuff in that.
Yeah, it's great. It's so good.
We see some funny kind of moments with the potions-making class and whatever with Slughorn and stuff. And it's just a lot of fun scenes as far as the school goes. And that's good. As well as...
Quidditch is great.
Yeah, Quidditch is good. That's another, like, Quidditch, right? They achieved that.
Quidditch
you
is
read
great
that in a book,
in
and you would
movies,
go, how could they possibly do that in a movie?
People on
and
brooms
they did
in the air, throwing a ball around, and it's just
looks
so
fantastic.
Well done in the movies.
Yeah. It's amazing.
It's great.
Death of Dumbledore, kind of the biggest spoiler in all the Harry Potter franchise, right? What do you think? They did pretty well on that.
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah.
Very.
Draco disarms them, which is a big thing. And
that's another
tie-in, Yeah.
Like he disarms him, and then later in the movie you find out that the Elder Wand belongs to Draco, because it's his wand.
The only thing that I am very I don't know. This confuses me. Is that I guess in Deathly Hallows Part 2, it seems to make the assumption that if you disarm someone, their wand is yours. Its allegiance is yours now. Exactly. And that makes me go, hasn't Harry been disarmed like hundreds of times in the series, right? Does that mean his wand is someone else's now, right? Yeah. Like, I just don't get that.
The whole Expelliarmus charm is very confusing throughout the movies, I feel. You know, because the beginning, it's phrased as like disarming spell, right? But in the movies and stuff, when they hit it with them, they go flying backwards.
Yeah.
It was like, well, how does that work?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all, I feel like that spell is very confusing. But it's magic. Yeah. It's how it works. Yeah.
Deathly Hallows Part 1. Now this is the one that I think most people say this is the weakest out of the series.
Yeah.
I disagree.
Yeah.
I really like Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I need to rewatch it. I haven't seen it in ages, but...
Well, so when I was at Dragon Con, when I would get home, or when I got home on, like, I guess it was Sunday night, they were showing Deathly Hallows Part 1 and Part 2, so I just watched both of them in a row.
Nice.
And both of them are great.
Yeah.
I think they really benefit from the fact that they filmed both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
And that they weren't a year apart. They were only like 6 months apart, I believe,
Yeah.
as far as theatrical release.
Uh-huh.
But I love Deathly Hallows Part 1. I think there's some great stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
The ministry stuff, where they break into the ministry, is great.
It's great to see.
This is the, I guess, most dramatic as far as friendship goes. I love the Ron argument stuff, and he leaves, and then he comes back. Hermione's mad at him. I love. When he destroys the Horcrux is great, you know. And then there's the whole bit with Dobby's death and stuff, which is so good.
And Malfoy Manor, which is a great scene, you know. I definitely need to go rewatch this, because I remember when I first watched it, I definitely did not love it, you know. I felt like, I mean, Deathly Hallows is the one where it gets real dark, you know. It gets real serious, and the Part 1 and Part 2 definitely have a much more darker feel than the rest of them, you know, which is another thing that's done really well. But, I don't know. I can't. I don't know what else to say.
You really do, though. My favorite scene in all of Deathly Hallows, and I know some people that hate this scene, but there's also plenty of people who love this scene, is the bit where Ron has left, Harry and Hermione are alone, and they dance in the tent to the song that's on the radio. That's my favorite scene in the whole movie. I love it.
AKA, you love seeing Emma dance.
I do love seeing Emma Watson dance.
Oh, gosh.
Do you ship Harry and Hermione together?
I don't know.
I always have. Like, I feel like he's so much better with her. And that's more of the movies, really. Like, I feel like Harry and Ginny's relationship in the movies, they tried, but I don't think it works as well as it did in the books.
I feel like Ginny in the movies is probably one of the weakest characters, you know.
Yeah.
I don't think she's done that well.
She has her moments, but their relationship isn't as good in the movies, and part of that comes from the fact that, like, Harry or Daniel and Emma have such good chemistry, and they're totally, like, having to deny that, you know. And there's so many great scenes with that, and so many scenes where, like, they hug each other and whatever, and you go, they're so great together. But if Ginny wasn't Ron's sister, I honestly think he'd be better with her.
I can totally agree with that.
Yeah. I like the idea of opposites attract and whatever with Ron and Hermione, and I don't think their relationship was done poorly, but
no,
Harry and Hermione have such good chemistry in these movies, and you know,
you can only wish.
I can only wish. I just put myself in Harry's shoes when he's dancing with Emma Watson. So good. Gosh. Deathly Hallows Part 1's pretty good. Part 2, here we go! Did you see this in theaters?
I believe I did, yeah.
I saw this opening night, midnight.
Yeah.
I also saw Deathly Hallows opening night of midnight, and number 6 as well.
It's great. It's so good.
I can't even, you know?
I think I saw this in the theater on my birthday, I believe.
Yeah? When's your birthday? It's August something.
August, yeah.
Deathly Hallows came out in July, but yeah.
So late birthday. But yeah,
I guess.
It's so good. So good. I love it.
Yeah, as I said, Deathly Hallows is mostly fan-pleasing moments. There's great stuff with the characters and whatever, and it's just a lot of action and stuff. But it's really a great finale to this series. And we've seen plenty of character development and everything, and there's plenty of it in this. We know, you know, there's plenty of slow moments. We see this whole, you know, we see all of Snape's backstory. We see Harry in King's Cross with Dumbledore, which is so good. And I love the idea that this movie, the entire movie, is just the Battle of Hogwarts, you know?
Yeah.
And it has its kind of moments where the battle kind of slows down and we get to have characters talk and whatever. But it's just a really cool kind of.
It is definitely
2 hours.
It's so well done, so great. Oh, I love it. Love everything about it.
Hey, you know what I want to do, Hitchcock?
What?
I want to cut together a supercut of the times that you said "so well done, so great."
Oh no!
I want to cut that together. I want to cut that together, man.
Oh gosh! Oh gosh!
It's pretty good. I could cut that together. I could cut.
Oh
together
gosh!
too. Yeah, there you go.
You could cut together so much of my countless phrases. Oh gosh!
Harry and Voldemort's showdown is great. There's some great stuff added, I feel, in these movies that not in the books as well. Neville, his little speech,
we didn't talk about Neville.
Neville's speech at the end where he says, you're going to die in vain or whatever is fantastic.
It is.
And Voldemort's reaction and everything. I'm just reveling in this great movie.
So good. And in the moment, Harry falls out of Hagrid's arms and runs away.
I remember cheering in the theater. Yeah, it was so good.
It's really good.
One character that I think was given a lot better depth in the movies than he was in the books was Lucius Malfoy.
Yeah?
I think in the books he's kind of just a side character, but in the movies he gets kind of a full arc. He starts out as like this staunch, like racist, rich man, kind of like a Trump supporter, and he then, by the end, he's been to Azkaban in number 6. He's been a Death Eater or whatever. Voldemort's kind of, been sitting on him this whole time, and he's just withered and kind of stubble all over him. And he eventually just decides to, get out of there.
Turn. Yeah.
And he's such a... What's funny is, when I saw Jason Isaacs at this DragonCon thing, and he was talking about his character... He said that both Lucius and Draco kind of have a heroic arc in that both of them turn away from Voldemort at the end, right? And leave the battle. That's not how I ever saw it at all.
No?
I always saw it as cowardice,
Yeah,
because
same.
they're so coward. They're such cowards that they're not willing to choose a side, right?
Yeah.
Like they're like Aaron Burr in Hamilton, where they're not willing to take a stand for anyone because they don't want to be on the wrong side, and
they want to be on the side with more power. Yeah,
exactly. So I
totally see that. Yeah.
I never saw that as a heroic arc. I always saw it as more of a
you're wrong.
Let's see what else.
I think one of the issues I have with this one is, or I guess it's not really an issue, it's just a personal opinion, is that the ending with Harry and Voldemort when they finally fight, in the books it's like this huge dramatic moment. They're in the Great Hall and everyone's watching and they're circling each other, and in this one it's kind of like, there's no one around and they're on their knees fighting. Which I feel like, that moment in the book where they finally fight and they're in the courtyard and everyone's just waiting is such a good moment. I absolutely love that moment. And I feel like I was disappointed a little that they didn't do that in the movie, because it would have been really cool to see. Yeah.
I need to reread Deathly Hallows. I didn't remember that. That was how it went down. Something I do remember Deathly Hallows that's different in the book from the movie is, in the book, they have to do something with his body. They kill him, and his body's just there. In this, he kind of disintegrates into ash or whatever.
Yeah.
Which is kind of a funny little convenient thing that they do, right? Like, they disintegrate Bellatrix or whatever, and then, which is awesome. Molly Weasley kicks some butt.
That's great.
But that is super convenient that they just get rid of all these Death Eaters by just ash.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is one of the things about the movies, is that there's lots of kind of liberties taken with the magic, I guess. Where, like, in this they make it Voldemort's like robes come out like snakes or whatever, and they like wrap up around Harry, and I'm like, I don't think they could do that in the book. They do a bunch of other stuff, like Kingsley Shacklebolt, a Death Eater, comes through the window and he like freezes him in midair, and the glass is like, and maybe that's a Mobilis or whatever, but it's like, they do a lot of magic for the sake of it looking cool rather than whether it's practical. But that's fine. It's a freaking movie.
You know what? It's magic.
Yeah, it's magic.
And you know you're a nerd when you start naming off the kind of spell.
Immobilist.
Immobilist.
Accio Firebolt. Deathly Hallows is always my favorite one. Yeah. I think they do Snape really well.
Oh, Snape, he's great. I love Snape.
I love the stuff with the teachers.
Yeah.
Potentially my favorite scene in the entire Deathly Hallows Part 2 is the scene where, man, that voice cracked a minute ago. The scene where Minerva McGonagall and Molly Weasley and Slughorn and all the teachers and stuff are casting the shield around Hogwarts. That's great. Such a good moment to see them all coming together. And I love that we feel close to these characters by the end of this whole series. Like, we've come a long way with them. And, like, I love Harry gets to Hogwarts and McGonagall's like, what do you need, Potter? And he's like, I need time and whatever. And then she says, Potter, it's good to see you. And he says, it's good to see you too, Professor. And I'm like, I love these characters so much.
Love it. Right? The character arcs and every little character has a little arc, you know? Like Neville, we didn't talk a whole lot about Neville, but he has a great character arc.
Neville, who could have been the chosen one. Can you imagine?
Could have.
Who's to say?
But yeah, he's done great. And just everything about it, oh, so good.
So
you
good.
Really believe,
so done. So well.
Relationships.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So should we talk about Harry Potter and the Cursed Child?
Maybe? Question mark?
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll recap these movies. They're great.
Much of opinion on it. Yeah.
Amazing achievements.
Yeah.
And they're great. So well done. So yeah, Cursed Child. Cursed Child came out.
It did.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, Harry Potter and the Cursed Child is this thing that J.K. Rowling did, where she did a play that's an 8th installment in the Harry Potter franchise, basically. And you can see it in London's West End and whatnot. And essentially, they released the script of the play. And that was this big deal. I went to the midnight launch party and whatnot. And that was pretty great. But I didn't like the book.
No? Yeah, you've got quite an opinion on it, don't you?
I do too. You do as well. I mean, we've talked about
this.
Not
really. I mean, I just think it's fine, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, it works as a play. I enjoyed reading it. I had a good time.
I mean, look,
I have a few issues with it, and
the thing about this.
Oh no.
We're gonna. You know that I'm getting serious when I say the thing about.
The thing about.
You know, when we I'm totally losing. I'm insane today. I'm losing my train of thought every second. I'm just freaking William Shatner.
Cursed Child. What do we do?
Cursed Child. Yes. So.
Your opinion.
The thing about Cursed Child is that it's intended to be a play, and when you read it as a book, it doesn't quite work. And the thing about a play is that it's an event, right? You go to a play. It's a big deal. It's a spectacle, right? It's like seeing Cirque du Soleil or whatever. And so when you read this book, it works as a spectacle, as like an event. It's like, whoa. And I can imagine seeing this on a stage and going, aw. And I guess we'll spoil this. Because essentially what they do in the book is they go back in time. Harry's children go back in time to try to save Cedric Diggory's life. And I still don't know why. But that is really just an excuse for them to show moments of the Harry Potter books back in the day, right? They show scenes from Goblet of Fire. They do this thing where they create an alternate timeline accidentally, and that enables them to see Snape and stuff as still alive or whatever, so we get kind of a nostalgia trip with that. And I can imagine seeing this, and like Harry also has dreams. He has a dream of when Hagrid first found him at the Dursleys. And that's such an excuse to do nostalgia, right?
Yep.
But if you're watching that as a play, you'd be like, this is so magical. Sure. I'm seeing the first Harry Potter moments on a play, on the stage and whatever, right? But as a story, I don't think it works. No. So that's all I have to say about Cursed Child, baby.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought it was fine, you know. I got the same thing as you. I think, I mean, I read it, I enjoyed it, I had a great time reading it, and I can definitely it's very much a play, and so it's kind of hard to just read it straight up and really feel like it's a book. I mean, I really wasn't expecting a book. I knew it was a script, and I had read scripts before in the past for like school and stuff, so I know what a script felt like, and so it was just.
Well, and it does have kind of a different tone feel to it because it is written by a different writer. J.K. Rowling did the story, but she didn't write it, and so I do feel like the dialogue is a lot more stagey, like saying what you're thinking, right? Which isn't how the dialogue was in the books.
Which is kind of what you have to do in a play, though.
Right.
You have to say what you think because the audience, I mean, you're doing a play, you're acting it out. So, I mean, it would be so cool to see it as a play, I think. I think it definitely would be much better if you saw it as a play than reading the script.
Yeah, I'm sure. And maybe someday we will. It's going to come to America someday, Broadway or whatever. But that won't be for a couple years, I believe. So, yeah. Fantastic Beasts.
Oh, gosh.
The Harry Potter franchise is ever expanding, right?
Yeah.
Let's just give our brief thoughts on how excited we are for this achievement of Fantastic Beasts. Whoa, I'm so excited, right?
Yeah.
It'll be good.
It will.
I'm not that pumped. Yeah. TBH, the trailers are fine.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's gonna be great, but I'm not feeling the hype right now.
Sure.
But you know what? J.K. Rowling wrote the script, so that's really cool.
It's got to be good, right?
I mean, that's what we said about Cursed Child, so I don't know. But hey, I'm excited.
Dude, my expectations for Cursed Child were so low.
Were they?
Mm-hmm. Huh. Yeah.
Mine were pretty high. I don't know.
Yeah, mine weren't high at all.
I just never expected it to go in that time travel direction. It just really annoyed me. Ugh. So yeah, I'm sure Fantastic Beasts will be good. That's all I have to say. Is that all you have to say?
It is.
It's all we have to say, folks. We're here all night. What pick of the week? Maybe I don't know.
Pick of the week.
Have you watched anything good this week?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you?
Yeah. Nope. I really haven't.
Okay, well, I watched The Jungle Book for the first time.
Yeah, you did.
After months of it being out. I was late to the party on that one.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, it's good. You don't like it that much, do you?
I mean, I knew. Okay, well,
Here's the thing.
Here's the thing about The Jungle Book. When I first saw it, I thought it was pretty great. I didn't love it, but I thought it was pretty great. Second time I saw it, I practically fell asleep because it was so unrewatchable. Like, I cannot even.
I can see that, yeah.
That's all I have to say about it. I kind of nothinged it when it comes down to it. Like, it's fine or whatever, The CGI is incredible. The little kid's real good. That's it.
Yeah, basically basic things,
I like the original better.
Yeah. CGI is fantastic in it. The acting is great. The voice actors are really, really good. And I can definitely see why it's not rewatchable. But
I do like some of the stuff that they added with it. I like Mowgli is good at making tools and stuff. That's really good. But that's I don't really have much.
I liked how they kept the old songs. They kept through the old songs.
Although oddly, they show two of them and they don't do Scarlett Johansson's song until the credits. It's like, why didn't you just do it in the movie?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Good point.
Yeah, but Jon Favreau is a great director. Just putting that out there.
It was good.
Did I watch anything this week? Oh, you know what I watched this week? Yeah. I watched Batman Under the Red Hood.
There you go.
And it was really good. Yeah.
Still feeling that Batman vibe from last week.
Exactly. I think I said last week that I'd ordered it.
Yeah.
And Batman Under the Red Hood was potentially better than Mask of the Phantasm, although I'm not sure. I think Mask of the Phantasm has a little bit better emotional weight to it, and Kevin Conroy is a much better Batman than the one that's in Under the Red Hood, as far as the voices go. But it's got some fantastic action, some fantastic Robin stuff. For those who don't know, it's about kind of Robin Jason Todd and his death and that its toll on Batman, as well as this mysterious figure, the Red Hood, who starts appearing in town and stuff. Cool. And it's just really good. Everything about it was well done. So, yeah.
Cool.
Under the Red Hood, check it out. It's good.
I will. I still need to check both of those out.
Yeah.
Phantasma and Under the Red Hood.
All right, where can people find us, Hitchcock?
I don't have time. On the socials?
On the social medias.
I'm at nerd_stream7.
And I'm
Twitter,
at Blockbusted Pod on
and
Twitter.
Instagram.
Yes.
You didn't let me finish!
Oh, hang on, try it again.
No, I'm done.
No, I ruined it. Maybe I'll just isolate the tracks so you can say yours, and then I'll get rid of my stupid voice. If you'd like to contact us, just tweet at us. And if you want to email us for some reason, unknown, I don't know, if you're a kid in the 90s who's learning about emails, you can email blockbustedpodcast@yahoo.com.
When's the last time you checked that email?
I check it. It's just on my phone, so if it got an email, I would get it. We've never gotten an email on there except like 6 months ago. So I don't even know why I say it anymore. Yeah.
Do it for fun. I don't know.
Blockbusted is sponsored by Audible. Go to audibletrial.com/blockbusted for a free audiobook of your choice today. That's all I have to say. All right.
Here's the thing about Audible.
Oh, no!
Oh, just kidding.
It's just kidding. My videos on my channel are getting good, I think. I'm excited for the future. I've got 5 weeks worth of videos scheduled. Yes. So those of you who watch my channel, just look forward to that. I demand it. Look forward to it.
Hey, you guys want to know where you can secretly find all his videos pre-released?
Oh no! Don't tell him. There is a place on the internet that I upload all my videos in advance, but I'm not going to tell you where it is. So you'll have to scout that out yourself if you want to.
No, maybe if you go follow me on Twitter, there might be something leaked. You know.
Oh no!
Who knows?
Pretty good. All right. We will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
We will. #wing it.
There you go. All right, see ya. I have really got to go to the bathroom, like so bad. I cannot even.